Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. Today is Saturday. Yes, we are out here trucking today, making that extra money. Um, Please hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you support the channel, if you've already done that, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. I'm just trying to get some information out there, especially for a lot of these new guys. Topic number one. Uh, how the industry has changed and the opportunity that trucking is today. Um, I've been doing it 19 years now, and I talk to a lot of drivers. I run local, so I run around the same group of guys all the time, and both owner operator side and company driver side. And I watch a lot of the other YouTube channels, and I see the guys in the comment sections and some of the questions and comments that they're leaving. The trucking industry is a great opportunity if you're willing to work, first and foremost, because I mean, you're never going to see a 40-hour week again. And if you're cool with that, then you can come over here in the trucking space and you can make a lot of money. My son, who just got his CDL, um, like 2.5 months ago, just landed a local gig, where he'll be running local home every day, and he'll probably work Saturday mornings too. Um, but it's a $55,000 to $60,000 a year job, which, with benefits, uh, not bad for a 21-year-old. You know, um, there are opportunities like that. Now, nobody's gonna hand you anything. And I think that's the biggest thing that got me thinking about it, and me wanting to put this out is, these guys expect like everything to just be handed to them, and like, you're an adult. If you want it, go get it. If you don't know how to go get it, you have Google. Figure out how to get it. uh, you know you can't throw questions and comments on YouTube channels, or piss and moan on the CB radio, and just expect that the answers to life are going to fall in your lap. You got to go. You got to do the homework. You got to do the research. You want it, go get it. Um, I mean, that's just it blows my mind. 19 years ago when I started doing this in 2000, we didn't even really have cell phones. I mean, back then it was prepaid phones that were $1 a minute and like 250 a minute if you were roaming, and if you left the city limits, you were roaming. You know, there was no unlimited data. There was no even internet on your phone. I, they gave you, your dispatcher gave you instructions, addresses, a pickup address and a delivery address with dates and times, and handed you a set of keys and said, "All right, call me when you get there, halfway across the country." You had a $39 laminated Rand McNally Atlas. I still have two of them under my bed at home. You know, you were expected to be an adult. You were expected to be a big boy and get the job done. Um, and that's why there wasn't a whole lot of owner operators back then. If you wanted your own authority, you basically had to have contract freight going out, and you had to have phone numbers for a handful of brokers to get you a backhaul to get back home, to get back to your customer, your contract stuff. You see those guys in the truck stop every night, you know, sitting at a booth with 5 notebooks out and a calculator and just plugging away on the telephone because we had to use landlines, you know, and they called, if you were out in PA, Jersey, there might have been 3, 4 brokers out that way. It wasn't a national like thing, and so I mean that kept a lot of guys from doing it. And when you called those brokers, or well, when those guys called those brokers, if they told them they only had 2 loads coming out of that area, and this is what they were paying, those are the only 2 loads you had to choose from. Now, and there was no way to verify that. There was no online load boards. You couldn't pop onto the DAP board or the 123 load board and verify the information, and you had no idea if there was 50 other trucks in that area looking for loads or if there was 200 other trucks in that area looking for loads, because you know 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon they were all shutting down and hitting the phones, getting everything put into place for the next day. I mean, you know it was common practice, uh, in my talking to these owner operators at that time, because that was what you did, is you sat in the iron skillet and drank 5 cups of coffee every night and shot the shit with your fellow drivers. And it was common practice for them to try to haggle on the price and get the price up. And the guy say, "Oh, wait, hold on, I got another call coming in." Put you on hold for 2 minutes, and then come back and say, "Yeah, I got a guy willing to do it for $10 cheaper. Where you at now?" You didn't know. I mean, they were probably just lying to you. But that's your only ride home, unless you're coming out of pocket for the fuel and just, eating it. And there's only a handful of brokers. You can only do that so many times before you didn't have anybody getting you back hauls. So it was a rough time, you know. Now, guys getting into the industry today, you can go from trucking school to your own authority running spot market in 3 years, probably 2.5 years, if you do it right, because you have technology, you have the load boards, you have tablets, you can run your laptop in your truck. Um, what took a guy, that started back in 2000 or even in the 90s, what took a driver from that era 10, 15 years to do, you can literally do in like 3, because of the technology, because of the load boards, because of unlimited data. You can go from 0 to 100 as fast as you want to. I mean, the only real limiting factor that you have anymore is the 2 years experience, just that time horizon, you know. But you can set yourself up in those 2 years where you're living in the truck basically, and banking money And as soon as you hit that 2 years, you can take that money you have in the bank and go buy a truck. And hell, you could even file for your own authority at that point. And you're in business. You know, uh, we didn't have YouTube back then. You know, again, we had coffee at the iron skillet. You know, have 2 pots of coffee and a pack of cigarettes, and then go out and get a 5 hour nap and get up and do it again. That was trucking back then. That's part of the reason why back then everybody helped each other, and it kind of had to, because we were all out here on our own. You know, um, you broke down on the side of the road, you were kind of screwed. You know, uh, you didn't have any way to contact anybody. Eventually the ComData Qualcomm systems came out. For the larger fleets, the megas. And even a lot of the smaller ones, and you could send a message through there saying, "Hey, I'm broke down. Here's my mile marker, interstate, whatever," and you could communicate via that. But I mean, that for me anyway, that wasn't a thing until like probably '03, '04, around about in that area. But I'm just saying, you know, buck up. You're friggin' you're an adult. You know, act like an adult. Uh, Ain't nobody out here gonna hand you crap. If you want it, you're gonna have to go get it. You're gonna have to find it. You're gonna have to earn it, and it ain't that damn hard. You know, again, everybody else out here did it with no cell phones and a damn laminated Rand McNally map. You have a damn GPS and unlimited data. Uh, there's no reason that you can't get the job done today. There's no excuses for it. So part two, and kind of along those same lines, is for the owner operators or for those aspiring to be owner operators or lease operators or um, really entrepreneurs or business owners at any level. You have to be an adult. If I was taught very early on, and I know a lot of business owners, in my circle, and I have a lot of family members that are business owners, um, various industries. And I was taught something very early on that stuck with me, and that is that your business is the numbers. Without the numbers, there is no business. That it's not the name on the door. It's not the title. It's the numbers, the books. The books are the business. And all this stuff going on with Travel Loco right now kind of sparked this. How did I can't fathom how guys didn't know. I can't fathom how guys, that many guys, didn't catch what was going on. Um, Again, we have technology. It's 2019. I run QuickBooks and Quicken. I run Quicken for myself, because it's a very easy format. Um, as far as like data entry, all I got to do is go in, click on my bank account, click update, if, you know, go down through, itemize, categorize everything, all the expenditures and the incomes, and boom, it's done. I know my numbers to date. Uh, I also run QuickBooks for both the sole proprietorship and the corporation. The only reason I do that is because I use an accountant, because I put in a crap ton of hours and I don't feel like wasting extra time in a field that I'm not schooled in. Stuff, there's certain things where to me, it makes more sense to pay a professional. I would rather, when it comes to certain repairs on the truck, I would rather pay a guy that is, a good mechanic, does it for a living to fix my truck, than for me, who does not do it for a living, to go out and, spend my time, which I have very little of, uh, trying to fix the truck and hoping that I do it right the first time and don't end up having to pay to do it again. It's the same with accounting. You know, the books are the business. I, I would rather pay $200 a month for a professional who does it all day, every day, to keep an eye on my books and give me their professional recommendations throughout, from quarter to quarter, than file on TurboTax and just hope that I did it right. And again, I mean, if you have a background in that, that's fine. I don't. You know, I spent a lot of hours in this truck. Uh, I'm focused on what I do, what I do every day, all day. I'll let them focus on what they do all day, every day, and I will pay them for that service and save myself, hours of winging it. You know, it's just, there's a cost of business, and to me, there are certain things that require professionals, not weekend warriors and do-it-yourselfers. And so I have two sets of books. Uh, you have to know your numbers. If you're running your books, when you get to the end of the year, both you and your accountant should already have your numbers for the year. You should be able to file before you even get the 1099s and all of that stuff, because you already have the numbers. I mean, even if you wait for all the 1099s and everything and wait till, April 14th or whatever, as soon as you get those 1099s in, either you or your accountant, I mean, you have your actual numbers. You should have your bookkeeping. You should have your quarterly printouts. You know, you should have been able to see that 1099 and be like, oh, wait, those numbers don't match. Why don't those numbers match? Did I screw something up? Did they screw something up? How do I fix what got screwed up? Like, that should have been taken care of right then and there. It should have been a no-brainer. now all these people, putting all this information out on Traveloka and crying like Traveloka tried to screw them, which, look, I don't agree with what Traveloka did, but for an individual, a grown man who wanted to play business owner to now be, crying that another business tried to, uh, take advantage of them or swindle them or however you want to say it is just stupid. Like, you know, sorry that they expected you to know what the hell you were doing. Mm, I mean, sorry that they expected that you, being a business owner, knew how to run your business. Like, grow the hell up, And then sometimes the truth hurts, you know. I don't mean to be harsh or rude, but if you want to be a business owner, be a business owner. You obviously didn't do your books. So that's on you. That's not on Eddie. That's not on Eric. It's not on Vanessa. Again, is what they did a little shady? Yeah, yeah. It's a little shady. I would definitely be suspect if I was over there. But again, if you're running your business the way you should be running your business, should have never been an issue to begin with. All this did was point out how many guys, you know, got into being lease purchase operators and owner operators and were clearly not ready to take that step. That's just my take on it. But look, I'm just out here trying to put out information, trying to steer guys in the right direction. You know, it's a great opportunity. You can make a lot of money. I drive local. You know, I'm an owner operator. I will do six figures, but there's a very big lack of adulthood in the trucking industry right now. Um, and you know, I don't know if it's the age difference. I don't know if it's where the country is at a whole right now, because it seems like nationwide there's a lack of adulthood. Everybody wants to be a crybaby and blame everything on everybody else when everybody has literally all the information in the world at your fingertips. But you wanna cry and blame everybody else for your woes and your failures because you thought it was just gonna get handed to you. But at any rate, I think that'll be all for today. These two kind of went on a little bit longer than I had initially planned in my head. So you guys have a great weekend. I hope that things are working out for you. If you need help, if you have questions, please drop them down in the comment section. If I can help, I would definitely love to help. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, um, I'm always down to help the next guy out, pass along some information if I got it. I think that old school way is what built the trucking industry, and I still believe in it. You know, um, teamwork makes the dream work, right? Hey, you guys have a good weekend. We'll see you next week. Later.